Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a deep dive inside of our Canadian-based stock portfolio. Like usual, this is going to be the weekly update, and I'll show you guys all the stocks we hold inside our portfolio. I'll show you guys the returns we got. I'll show you guys the dividends, and I'll show you guys what stocks I'm buying this week. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video since we're going to be doing an entire portfolio update in this week's update. But nonetheless, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Remember to smash the like button, and we'll jump inside the video, and let's get started, and let's take a peek at our TFSAs first. Alright guys, so the first account we're going to be covering really quickly is going to be the TFSAs, and then we'll jump aside the RRSP and talk about any other accounts that we have on our different platforms. So the first one we'll talk about is going to be my own TFSA here on Wealth Simple Trade. This is the biggest account and the biggest TFSA we have. We have about $110,000 Canadian inside of this portfolio, and I'll give you guys a quick little overview of the returns of this TFSA. So the one-day return of my TFSA is down -1%, and if you guys don't know, today is Wednesday at the time of doing this video, and I'll give you guys an update on some of the market commentary that's going on over the past day, week, and month or so. Towards the end of the video, we'll do an update on the markets. But the one-day return is -1%. We did see a bit of a dip in today's market. The one-week return is once again sitting about -1%. 1 month, the portfolio is sitting about pretty much even here. We had a bit of a dip with a little bit of a recovery, and that's pretty much what happened over the course of the month, last month or so. The 3-month return, however, is up 3%, so we did see a bit of a jump up, at the beginning of, I would say, June or so. We've seen the markets kind of increase as well as, our distributions and all that income kind of adding up as well. Seen a nice little increase to where it is today, which is about the beginning of September. And the 1-year return from around September, I'd say early September, I guess, to September of last year, we've seen quite a bit of growth inside the portfolio. The portfolio, we have $91,000 in September of 2022, and now we're seeing at 110. So that's a pretty significant growth. And if you guys want to know what the net deposit difference is, the difference is we had $83,000 in net deposits at the beginning of 2022, and now we have about 94,000. So pretty big growth in deposits, as well as just our our returns compounding, as well as the stock portfolio and the market's kind of just growing over time. And the all-time return inside my TFSA is about 17%, which is just under $16,000, and it's been pretty significant growth basically starting at the beginning of 2023. 2023 was a bit of a sleeper year. I think a lot of people, if you zoom out and you kind of look, you can see that we actually had a pretty steady rise, and at the end of the day, it's been some pretty good returns for this year, specifically in the American markets. And if we scroll down and take a peek at some of the holdings inside the TFSA, here's what they are. So we mostly have, like I mentioned, because the portfolio has done so well, it's mostly because of our large holding in the American markets, and that would be the Vanguard S&P 500 VFE ETF. This guy has done really, really well. I think it's up about 17-18% year to date. So that's where a lot of that growth is coming from. About 50% of our TFSA, pretty much all my portfolios for the vast majority is going to be about 50% in American stocks, because I do like the American markets. I think they're essential if you guys want diversification, but as well as growth. So that's a big chunk of the portfolio. But the other big chunks we have are the Canadian markets, as well as some Canadian individual stocks. So you guys can take a peek here and see them individually. Once again, like usual, if you guys want to dive inside my individual stocks and see more information about my portfolio, check out the link to Blossom Social. There's one in the description of this video. On there, you guys can sign up an account and see all my stocks across a lot of my different platforms. But on here, you guys can see, though, we have some individual stocks like AQN, ATD, CNR, and then we have some covered call ETFs, as well as some income funds. These are pretty small holdings inside my portfolio overall. And then once again, we have some pretty solid Canadian dividend companies. So nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. The portfolio is pretty boring. It's very conservative, but it works at the end of the day, and we can see it's gotten us a pretty good result. The next account we have here is my fiance's TFSA. This is going to be our secondary TFSA that we are focusing on growing and increasing right now. So that's a total value of about $22,704, and this is our main focus right now, is maxing out this TFSA, and pretty much all of our disposable income that we have to invest, or at least the vast majority of it, is going inside this account. And my fiance has a bit of a more passive, a little more easier approach when it comes to buying her stocks. It's all ETF based, simple stuff. So she has VFE like I do, VDY, and then a few covered call ETFs, as well as a split corp just for some passive income. But the vast majority of the fund is going to be growth, about 50% coming into US markets. Again, very similar to my TFSA, a little bit more in terms of Canadian dividend stocks, and then we have some income funds there. So once again, it's a very easy, very simple portfolio. And if we scroll back here and we go into the reporting tab, I'm going to show you how well this portfolio is actually done. So if we go to my fiance's TFSA and we bring up the reporting tab here, we can actually see that her portfolio has done quite well. So we'll go year to date, so we can see the year to date information about it. But net change is $11,000. Rate of return is 11.72%. Investment growth is 1,426, and then we can see some other things like the dividend history just consistently growing. So once again, this basic type of portfolio, very conservative type of investing, it's very simple. Hers is a little bit more simplified than mine since I do buy individual stocks, but you guys can see there's lots of different options. And again, just pick good quality companies and your portfolio will grow over time. So next account I'm going to be talking about here is going to be the Dividend Growth Investing RRSP. This is the case study I've been doing on this channel over the past, I'd say about month or two or so. I think we're on week number 8 was the last one, or maybe it's week number 9, I can't remember. But anyways, this is a RRSP, a Canadian dividend growth portfolio we started from scratch that I'm basically doing an update on every single week in each of my videos here. So this is 100% Canadian focused growth based portfolio, dividend slash growth, but very much on the growth side of things. So this is a long-term portfolio. It's designed to set up for the long term, and of course it's in a retirement account. So this is going to be something we're hoping to access, in the long term kind of thing, and we get some nice little tax benefits in the short term as well. But I'm just going to show you guys the 1 day return of this account is about -1. So we did see a bit of a dip, with the Canadian markets overall. The 1 week return is -1%, and then I'm just going to kind of skip to the end here so you guys can see that we're sitting about 0% all time. Last week we were up a little bit inside the portfolio, but it looks like we dipped down a little bit. And here's a quick peek at the stocks that we're currently holding inside the portfolio. So we have a nice mixture of different sectors here, and you can see like how the different sectors influence the different things, like certain stocks move with the markets and others kind of move independently. So that's the cool thing about building your own portfolio, is you can build a nice diversified portfolio. And even if like the financial markets, like the banks aren't doing so good, like here we see TD is down -4%, same with CNR -4%, we can still see some decent returns from some of the other sectors and stocks we have inside our portfolio. So once again, these stocks are Alimentation Couche-Tard, CNQ, Canadian National Resources, Canadian National Railway, Dollarama, and TD. These are the stocks that we have so far, and I'm thinking next week we're probably going to be buying a new stock to add inside this portfolio. But the main theme for us right now, and the main focus, to kind of bring balance inside the portfolio while we build it out, and we just kind of work on diversifying and adding good quality dividend Canadian growth stocks inside the account. And obviously it's a small account, it's growing, but it takes some time, but the portfolio is doing pretty good so far. And the last account I'm going to talk about really quickly is going to be the non-registered personal account. This is an account I started when I ran out of TFSA room in my TFSA and I didn't really know what to invest into. Right now, obviously I'm focusing on the RRSP for retirement, but I don't want to put too much money into the RRSP because I want to focus on my fiance's TFSA as well as have some more money in the shorter term. So I don't want to dump too much money into RRSP, yet we are putting a little bit just to kind of, build towards retirement and get those tax benefits in the short term. But here's the stocks inside the account here. Once again, this is a mixture account. We have a little bit of everything. Eventually this will all get sold off when I decide to eventually do it, probably towards the end of the year, and all this money will probably be put inside my fiance's TFSA, inside her TFSA, to also benefit her TFSA, or also I might even just use it next year to put maybe some money into my TFSA. It just kind of depends on how things go, but this portfolio has done quite well. It's about 15% all time, and once again, it's a pretty big mixture of mostly Canadian stocks with a little bit of everything here. But I think right now, I did sell a little bit throughout this year, and I sold all the American stocks, and we just have some Canadian stocks that I'm kind of looking to eventually get rid of. So once again, this is kind of like a portfolio that eventually I'm going to get rid of, but for now it's just kind of hanging around, getting a couple returns and making some money in terms of distributions. And here's a quick little update on the markets over the past little while. We'll start off with the Canadian markets since that's the biggest one that we typically do on this channel. We focus on Canadian stocks. So here's the markets for today. So obviously the markets are down quite a bit, pretty much across every single sector other than maybe some consumer defensive and oil and gas. Some oil and gas stuff and some of the utility companies are kind of doing okay there, I guess. But actually pretty much across the board, we do see a lot of red, and that's just for today. So obviously that's just for today, but we did see quite a bit of drop. The US market's also down quite a bit today. But let's take a peek over the past week or so. So the past week tells a bit of a different story. So over the past week, we do see oil and energy and gas pretty much being one of the small sectors that's doing okay. We do see some things like the REITs doing okay as well. CNR, the railroads are down quite a bit. Gold and silver and all that kind of stuff. Materials aren't doing very hot. They're down quite a bit, as well as the financials. Banks are down quite a bit. Over the past week, we've seen pretty significant increase in most of the banks actually across the board, some more than others. Tech companies are doing okay. Shopify up quite a bit. We did see Shopify jumped up a bit, and some of our consumer defensive stocks are actually doing not too bad. So that's the 7-day return. And I want to zoom out to do the 30-day return to kind of take a peek at the last month or so, since it's important to see a long-term. And I don't think I talked about the month return in the last video. So let's take a peek at the last 30 days. So, we take a kind of review of August here. Once again, oil and gas doing quite well. CNQ, Suncor, a lot of these oil gas companies are doing quite a bit. Railroads are down quite a bit once again. Basic materials are in the red. Pretty much everything in the red. Communication services are kind of iffy. Tech doing good. Consumer defensive stocks doing okay. Again, depends on which ones. Ones like Dollarama that we buy are doing pretty good, up a couple percentages. And then the big old financial and bank services are down quite a bit overall. We see a minus 5% drop for TD, RBC, -8 for National Bank, -5 for CIBC and BMO as well. So a lot of the financial companies are down quite a bit, but more specifically, the banks have dipped quite a bit. So if you're looking for good quality stocks, definitely take a peek at the banks. Good buying opportunities for the banks, good buying opportunities for the railroads, and that's pretty much it. And everything else you could just obviously drip into because they're good quality companies. But again, if you're looking at for some markets to focus on, financials might be a good one to focus on, as well as the railroads. So as we've seen, it presents some pretty good buying opportunities for Canadian stocks if you're looking at it to pick up some stocks. So once again, inside our RSP, we're focusing on a very basic approach here. We buy companies long term, and they're good quality companies, so you can really buy them whenever we want. And the goal is to obviously bring them up to be a little bit more evened weightings here. Now, the cool thing here is we did see the railroads present probably a pretty good buying opportunity right now, as well as some of the financial stocks. So if you guys are looking for a bank, you can definitely pick up a bank right now. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be picking up some more CNR because I do see value in that. It's down quite a bit, but also I want to bring it up to be $150, just like everything else inside my portfolio. So I think what the focus on today's video is going to be Dollarama. So we're going to split about $50 here, so we have available to trade. We'll buy a few shares. We'll actually split that money between these two. We'll actually have to buy fractional shares since we can't afford either one. So go inside CNR here, and I'm going to put about, let's put about $15 or so inside CNR. So put that through and make sure it's selected on our retirement account. We're going to put that through to buy CNR, and then we'll go back inside our RSP here. And we're going to use the leftover $35 here to put into Dollarama and bring this a little bit closer to 150 here. So we'll go here and buy it, and that'll go through Dollarama. We'll go fractional buy. We'll put that through, and that'll be good. And once again, we have a company like CNR and Dollarama, like all these stocks. Once again, they're set up to buy long term. You can buy them whether they're up or down. It doesn't really matter because we're holding long term, and they're good quality companies that are going to grow. But if you ever see something dip in like CNR or TD Bank or anything like that, and you believe in the quality company, it's a good quality company, you can always kind of, put a little bit extra in if you want. It's a nice little way to kind of take advantage of the markets. But once again, we're buying no matter what, and you can always feel comfortable buying these stocks whether they're up or down. So that's the buys for the RSP in this week's video. And in case you guys missed the buys in last week's video, just to give you guys a quick little update, I did buy some stocks actually the other day too. So we'll give you guys a quick little update. But here we have Dollarama, our pending buys for today. So those are going to be up there. And in the past, September 1st, I bought a share of CNQ. This was last week's video. I bought a couple bucks worth of XCI. This is the dividend, the distribution. So we just dripped it back into the fund. And then I did buy some shares of TELUS because TELUS is down quite a bit. I wanted to pick some up, and I bought some shares of ATD again. So we kind of added that into the personal account. I had some money from some dividends and stuff like that. So I just kind of put it in there. So nothing too crazy, nothing exciting, just trying to take advantage of some markets dipping a little bit. But overall, we're just kind of staying the course and putting money and slowly building up a portfolio over time. Obviously this month we haven't put a lot of money in. It's the start of the month, but later on towards the end of the month, we will have some money to put in. So once again, like usual, I'll give you guys the updates on what stocks I'm buying on a weekly basis. In terms of dividends for the month of September, we obviously haven't gotten too much inside our portfolio. The only two dividends we got is we got a dividend of $2.32 from Canadian Tire in our non-registered account, and inside our TFSA we got a dividend of $10.12 from Fortis. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have yourself a good week. Take care. And like usual, if you guys have any comments or any questions, let me know in the comment section. And if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash the like button. Take care, have yourself a good one, and I'll see you guys later.